Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, and welcome to another episode of Simply Grace. Today we'll be discussing a very interesting topic. We'll be looking at the Christian entrepreneur and trusting God in the process. So today, as you can see, I'm joined with a very lovely guest. Guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Sara, and I own the Lordz Beauty. I do hair, anything beauty. This is me, the Lordz Beauty on Instagram, TikTok. But yeah.
And make sure you guys do check her out. Very much booked and busy. Like literally, I remember there's times where like her dates for the month would go live, and like within like 15 minutes max, the dates are gone. God. And I'm just like, I'm sorry for people to have to wait in line. I'm like, Sarah, like, can I come next week? And you're like, yeah, girl, come through. But we thank God for that. Thank God for the grace upon,
all the glory to
God. All the glory to God. Beautiful works. Can't wait for y'all to see some of it. But yeah, definitely do like check her out, engage with her content, the Lordz Beauty on Instagram and on TikTok. And yeah, so let's just dive right into it. So I feel like being an entrepreneur in any situation can be very like nerve-wracking, right? It's like you're deciding to take a step of faith essentially and just going on a new path, doing something that like, it's almost like undiscovered like territory, right? And even like with most entrepreneurs, it's like you're not reinventing the wheel, but it's like going on a different direction for yourself personally, right? And it's like nothing is new under the sun, but it's a new pathway for you nonetheless. And so this leads into like my first question for today. Can you share how the decision to start your business came about?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, there wasn't like a point where I decided to make a business or anything, but I guess it just happened. Like I just started doing my sister's hair, and then from there my cousin's hair, and then my other cousin's hairs, and then my mom's friend's daughter's hair. Like everybody, I was the braider. And then from there I just kept doing hair, and I guess I was known for the hair girl. But yeah, I just kept going. I just remember like my mom telling me the story when I was like 2 or 3. She was like, oh, my dad or somebody asked me like, what did I want to become when I was like, when I grow up? And apparently I said a hairstylist.
Okay.
Now look at me. God is so good. So there wasn't really a point where I decided to do hair. It just kind of happened, like very like natural.
Very naturally.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's really interesting. I think it is, good for you to kind of like pursue like a business or a path that like, feels natural to you.
Exactly. Because
like we all want to like, I'm not everyone wants to work. I don't know about you. I don't want to work. But it's just like, even if you do like have like a quote unquote like career, like a job, like you want something that feels like more natural, not that you're like waking up in the morning and like, God, I have to do this again. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So going into our second question then, I guess since it didn't really start about as a business, it kind of started like as a hobby, maybe I can say.
A hobby. Definitely.
So you taking the steps from hobby into like business, did you feel supported by the people around you? Was there, talk us through that process.
Okay, so I did feel supported, and obviously like from the people around me, like my family, my friends, everybody supported me. And looking back at the videos, I'm like, guys, like I wasn't even that good. Like, why was y'all even coming to me? Why? But honestly, again, like your friends will be your friends. Like they will support you through anything. So my family supported me. They, helped me get ring lights, combs, this, that, whatever I needed just to get my work out there. My friends helped me out. Even if they couldn't come to me for their like braids or whatever, like even just like a simple repost, like it was appreciated. But I got the support from everywhere, and I thank God, even from random people. Just thank Jesus. Like
we thank God for that, honestly, because I feel like even with this, I think when people do decide to take that bold step, it's the people that are around you that you expect to be like your biggest supporters.
Exactly.
Like you think like they're your backbone. And for some people, like we thank God for people that do have that reality.
Yes.
But unfortunately, that's not everyone's reality.
No, fact.
Like for some people, the people that you're thinking are going to be like the loudest behind you are actually like your biggest like discouragers, right? And even with that, like I think depending on the season you're in, like within your business, you have to like take a step back and kind of see like, where's this coming from? Is it like, are they trying to have you to take a step back to like genuinely like, reel it in and like, to rebrand yourself and to come back? Or is it like, is there a little bit of tea and shade in there?
It's so true. Like owning a business, doing anything, or like just following your dreams is sometimes it could be difficult if you don't have like, the support. But like there isn't anything God cannot do. So he can do it. He can do it for you.
And even just with that, I think like sometimes people kind of avoid risk because they see that as like the safer option. Yeah. So like they leave it as, oh, this is a hobby, right? Rather than trying to push it or like propel it into starting a business, because we all know starting a business doesn't guarantee success. It might be a hobby, you might like it, but like even now you're just like putting a name on it and like trying to push it as something. Yeah. It's not always as financially stable as like a traditional job, right? Yeah. So, and other times people don't think you're doing well enough, you know, at the spot that you are in your life, whether you should be taking risks. It's like, hey, like, you know, you're a student, focus on school. Like, why are you focusing on like taking on like a side business at this point in time, you know? So there's discouragement coming from all sectors, realistically.
I remember one time, I don't know, this lady came to me for her hair, and you know, I was doing her hair, and then she started asking me, oh, am I licensed?
What?
I'm like, girl, I'm in grade 11. Like, no, I'm not licensed. She's like, so why are you doing hair? I'm like, I don't know. Like, why are you here?
Why are you here? Like, no, are these license prices?
I don't understand.
So this was the first time.
No facts.
Like,
but honestly, like, I just had to you know, keep it in.
That's, some people are just weird. I don't know, like even just looking at like with businesses and stuff, most people start in like their basements. They start in their living rooms.
Exactly.
If you're coming to me in my living room, do you think I'm licensed?
I'm not licensed.
Not that like you can't be licensed in your living room.
You could be licensed.
But it's just like, I think people that are licensed would indicate that. Like it'd say like, you know, in their bio, on their business card, like, you know, licensed esthetician, whatever it is.
Exactly.
I don't know. Exactly. That's strange.
But it was just a funny like moment.
That's very, very strange. But I'm just saying, like starting a business, starting like in a basement or in a living room, like that's a safer option. Yeah. Especially like when we're saying like starting business is like a risky thing, anyways, right? Like you don't want to go and put like your name down for a lease and rent out a whole studio, and then all of a sudden like the business that you're banking on is not even like, you know, fulfilling like, you know, what you thought it would be.
I always say like it's even okay, like if you need to start your business in your living room, it's okay, because then that's how you know like God has greater plans for you. Like you're not gonna start at a point and then not get to, you know, point B. You're gonna get to that point B and then you're gonna get to point C. Like don't worry, start in your living room. Like you're gonna get up there.
Start in your living room, build your portfolio, build your clientele. So then when you actually do, you know, want to take the next step, there's people there to support you. Like, hey, some people do start off like renting out a big shop and it works for them.
That's completely fine.
You know, like, congratulations, you know, more oil to your elbow, whatever the saying is. But it's just like, for most people, like, understand that you are taking a risk. You know, although you might have prayed over it and like, you take a risk, but like, you know, start small. You know? So, yeah. And then I think even just having this discussion, it's also important to acknowledge people who are like a little bit envious. People that, you know, are bold enough to take that step and like, you know, to actually like fulfill like, well, their desires, like to like try and explore if their hobbies are actually going to get anywhere, right? And whether you feel good enough or not, like to start, sometimes they didn't feel that good to start. Like they might have had a desire as well, but like they didn't feel like it was, you know,
as motivated
as to start. Like some people like look too much of it at the discouragements, and then that doesn't allow them to actually like, you know, fully start and fulfill what might have been on their mind. And this is a category that's very much telling in itself, right? So there was a thread that went viral a long time ago on Twitter, and this was when Twitter was still Twitter, like not these X days, like it was when Twitter was still really good. And it was a business owner ranting about how her closest friends would rather go to outside providers. Those providers would, like, you know, get their hair done with them, nails, whatever. I don't remember what service she was offering, but she was saying how they prefer to go and get services from outsiders rather than coming to her. And she showed her work. Her work looked good in my opinion. So I'm just looking at it, I'm just like, you know,
what's wrong with
what's wrong? And, you know, there was an influx of different responses. People are like quoting the tweets, they're replying, whatever. Some people were supporting her, people were criticizing her friends. But like, I think the overall decision with that was just like, it's their money. So like, it's their decision, whatever they want to do with their money, right? And me personally, I don't understand why your friend will start a business and you wouldn't be supporting them. Exactly. Like, that's just me. I think everyone starts somewhere. So it's just like, even if like, you know, you're doing hair now and like you're not the best, you're practicing, you're building up, you know, you're getting better, you're doing your work, and it's like when you do get to that point where like you are the best, you're gonna remember, hey, this is who's supporting what I said. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know, like for me, it's just why wouldn't you try and help your friend? Why wouldn't you indulge? It's like if I'm gonna sit in my house with these braids, like I can't wear them out, at least I've helped you to practice. You get what I'm saying? When I'm going somewhere bigger now, if I decide, hey, I want to get it done, it's a different story. But like that's just me showing my support however I can, right? And this kind of reels me back to like when I started doing hair myself and when I was selling lashes. I had some.
I remember that.
Oh my, okay, that's too funny. I think I did lashes. I started maybe like grade 12.
Yeah.
And then like maybe into like first year of uni. And I had friends that were coming to buy like 2 or 3 pair of lashes. Like they're $7 each.
Oh my gosh.
Because
I don't remember that.
The person that sold them, and they were just like, oh, like pure mink lashes. Like it was like expensive lashes. So I'm like, okay, $7 each, whatever. Made some profit. Mind you, BSW was selling something similar for $3. But these are friends that would still go out of their way to like, you know, support.
Yeah.
Because BSW goes to your house and, you know, me or you're placing an order and I'm now coming when I see you, like I'm not bringing 2 weeks, like, you know, people that go out of their way to actually, like, you know, show up and support. And even when I started doing braids, when I was still learning, I had friends who would pay for, like, they buy extensions and then, like, just so I can practice in their head. And it's just like, these people who, like, constantly have been supporting, you know what I mean? It's just like, sometimes they even tip on top of the service, like, and it's just like people who are actually like, you know, building, pouring into you when you're still at like your beginning levels, right? And even when it came on to like doing wigs, like although I was able to like practice on myself, like with like on my own wigs and like, you know, color before I'd actually like, you know, offer the services to the public. There are people who are supporting nonetheless. You get what I'm saying? So I've done 1 or 2 wigs. You see it, you like it. You can go AliExpress and order the exact same wig, but you're trusting me like with the like. I don't know, like, God bless people who see their friends starting small and honor their small beginnings and, like, you know, pour into them and support them however they can, like, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
God show up, and I pray God shows up for you as well. But like just looking at, you know, the people who don't have these experiences, I feel like it can be so discouraging. And this leads into my next question. Was there ever a time where, whether it was due to lack of support or external factors, that you thought about like closing the business, just quitting, packing it up for the day and just...
Honestly, I think the only thing that would make me stop doing hair is just if I'm back in school, right? Like, I've had lots of experiences with, you know, clients or, you know, anybody in general. But I feel like our interaction will not make me quit hair. Like, I don't know. I feel like this thing is bigger than just an argument or just like a disagreement. But I just feel like, just school. School would be the only thing that would take me away from hair. Just to focus, you know? Just to focus. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Even like you were saying, like starting in your living room or starting in your basement. Like I feel like sometimes there are people who will like, you know, talk down on you because of that. And like for some people, like that is enough for them to say, you know, I'm packing up, like I'm done. Exactly. I know for me personally, the one of the main reasons I stopped doing hair was because I was doing hair in my living room as well. And my mom's coming to peek at a client. I'm just like... No, say Let me say one. My mom's gonna watch this. It's okay. We love our mommy. We love our mommy. My mom would cook egusi soup and pounded yam. And my client is there in the living room. She's like, Ade, do you want to eat? I'm like, Mommy, I'm okay. And the client is just there like, and she's there like, oh. That's actually too funny. Oh my god. But it's okay. It's okay. We love it. We love these experiences. This is what we're gonna tell our kids. No, but then I'm imagining like if you're using stockfish to cook now, the girl has her extensions out, and then your mom is soaking stuff. And then now everything's going to the girl's hair. Listen. She wears her jacket, she smells like stew. She smells like stew. I have to tap out. Like, open the window, please, man. Open the windows, please. Oh my gosh. Febreze, I'm like, just please. That's too funny. No. Pounding the yam on the side of the girls getting her hair braided? Yes. Oh yes. My god, that's actually, that's jokes. And they'll actually eat on the table and with the client beside. But it's okay. Nah, that's too funny. It's okay. Oh my gosh, no, like that's like a core memory for me now. I'm gonna go home and think about like, yo, nah, that's actually too funny. Okay, back to this now. So Zechariah 4:10 tells us, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin."
And I think even like with this podcast, like I remember like I had like, you know, like I was talking about how I really wanted to start it for a while, like it's been something that's been heavy on my mind. But even just actually starting it, like there's times where I'm thinking like you're gonna start recording episodes, you're gonna start pushing things out, and it's just like, who's even following you, who's listening to you, like, you know, what are you doing it for? Do you get, like, it was really discouraging sometimes, and I like there's times where like I'd like send like voice notes to like Nana, and Nana would be like, what are you complaining about? Like everyone has to start. Like I don't know, like you thought you were gonna start with 10,000 people, like you start and then it grows from there, right? And even just thinking about it, like I didn't realize before, but like on my 2024 prayer request list, like, and it was a prayer that I've been praying for a long time. I was saying that God should give me like the courage, like the boldness to actually like, you know, evangelize and like, you know, share the word. And just thinking like, you know, that into now this, and just like looking at how that has played out, because like we talked about, it is like a step of faith. Like it is like, you know, you do have to have like, you know, that spirit of courage, like the boldness to actually like step out and to start anything, whether it's like a business or like any form of like content creation, because you know you put it out there, you don't have to like pray over it, like God, let it reach whoever it has to reach. And you know,
I feel like you being discouraged though, like obviously it's normal, but I feel like that's even the enemy, because like he knows that God is going to take you far, like with this podcast thing, evangelizing. So he's like, oh, let me just like, you know,
plant that seed of
discourage her. Exactly, because he knows you're going to get far. Like this is going to blow up. Like this is going to blow up. And honestly, God is like, just trust me. Just trust me.
It's the
just watch.
Literally, like I told God, I was like, listen, I put it out there, like honestly, however it goes, whatever happens, like this is on you. Because I've done my part. Best believe I recorded, I'm doing whatever, but like this is literally on you. And I think even just sometimes taking your vision off of like your friends around you and look at whoever, because you know maybe you're recording this like for, you know, the girlies or whatever, but it's the strangers that are gonna see and really grasp it. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like don't have expectations. I think of the people, like just leave it. If we're saying like, God, I trust you, like no expectations. However, even if something flops, it's just like, you know, I've done what you've asked me to do, and like, you know, let your will be done.
You've already done it.
Let your will be done. And even just looking at like Joseph, who was sold as a slave in a foreign land, everyone that helped him was a stranger. Literally, God used those that he didn't even know to propel him to make God's like actions, to make God's plans, come to action, like come to pass, right? And you know, some people might argue that his brothers treating him the way they treated him was like a part of God's plan, but like, you know, that's a bigger discussion for another day. Really, however it came about, like, you know, God used strangers to really just help him, you know, to take him to where he had for him. Like, you know, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Like, you know, he knows the end from the beginning already. So just like looking at how things play out, just being gracious in that time and just understanding that, like, you know, whether the people around you, friends, foes are supporting you, God is gonna raise up whoever needs to be raised, anybody to, you know, to support you. And now looking at Isaiah 49:23 in the English Standard Version, which says, "Kings shall be your foster fathers, and their queens your nursing mothers. With their faces to the ground they shall bow to you and lick the dust of your feet. Then you will know that I am the Lord. Those who wait on me shall not be put to shame." And, you know, like we're saying, anyone can be raised, you know, to help you. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter if you're in a place like with no friends. I know some people talk about like moving to like different places, but like I don't know anybody out there. Just trust the process. Trust God.
Even with this, like you don't know who will see it. Like your destiny helper might be watching this right now. Like, oh, Annabelle, I want you to let me help you.
Yeah, like literally, and we need sponsors. So listen, if you want a sponsor, come through. But yeah, and besides like the portion that mentions like kings and queens like being raised to support, a key part of the verse is the part that says, "Then you will know that I am the Lord. Those who wait on me will not be put to shame." Period. Like this, just, you know, it is what it is. Like it's literally like a full stop. Like if you put your trust in the Lord, like you will not be put to shame. Like it's a promise. Like literally, the condition is put your trust in the Lord.
That's it.
And that's it. Just trust God. Just trust God.
Relax.
Lean back, kick your feet up. You've done your part.
Enjoy life.
That's literally it. Enjoy it because it's coming. But anyways, this is like a segue into our next question. So from like looking from, I guess, your business, because like we've been friends for a really long time as well, like early high school days. Like she's saying we want to be friends for longer. I don't remember that. I remember high school, but
I don't know. I don't remember where I met you. I want to say, were you in sports?
Yeah.
If you were in sports, I'd probably seen you in one of the tournaments.
Okay, maybe like
elementary school.
Okay, but I feel like competition, like it wasn't until like high school,
probably
like grade 10, grade 11ish.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking at it from there, like I think like I was aware of like your business when it was still what's it called?
Coming up.
When it was still coming up, yeah. But even just when it was Hair by Rara.
Oh, yes.
That's what I remember. Okay, when it was still Hair by Rara, and then just looking at like how it shifted into like the Lordz Beauty, right? And I remember during like lockdown days when we talk about, you know, how we want to like go about different businesses, like we share ideas on how to center our businesses around God. So the fourth question here is: you went from Hair by Rara to the Lordz Beauty, a total revamp in your brand, in your logo, and even your online presence. So what prompted this change?
The Lord. God. During COVID, I feel like everybody had that like phase where, oh my gosh, we need to be real with ourselves. Like,
not everyone's posting like the scriptures in their on their stories and their bios and everything.
So I feel like that was a season where everybody just had their own time, and I had my time with God as well. So I'm like, okay, yes, let's actually spend more time with God. And so then I guess like a year later, after I gave my life to Christ, I was just standing in the mirror and I was just like, oh, I want my name to change. And then the Lordz Beauty just came in my mind. I was like, the Lordz Beauty, what's that? And then all I heard was, you will understand what that means. And so then I'm like, how would people even understand what the Lordz Beauty means? Because it kind of looks like the Lord's Beauty. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know. If you look at it like just literally, it doesn't make sense. Like the Lord's Beauty, what? But I think he gave me the explanation, the Lord's Beauty. So the Lord, that is who created all of us, and he is beautiful, and we're beautiful because he has made us beautiful. And so I guess that's where I got the name from. Come on. So when I got the name, I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. So then I changed my name everywhere. I'm like, okay, I'm not Hair by Rara anymore. I'm the Lord's Beauty. And the reason why I didn't want people to think like it was weird, because I'm not the Lord. The Lord is up there. So that's where the Lord's Beauty kind of came from. COVID, giving my life to Christ. And then I started like posting my videos of Christian music and posting verses. And a lot of people kind of, they were just like, not a lot of people do this. Like, what inspired you? And then I started answering DMs. I'm like, yeah, like God is so important to me. Jesus is important to me. And that's where I'm at right now.
That's beautiful testimony. I'm just thinking, like, you talk about like a name change. First of all, like, even was not Sarai to Sara. Wasn't that? That was like the first name, and then your name still being Sara, like, and stuff like that's just like it's given like destiny fulfillment still happening, and even just like the Lord's Beauty. Like I think as a Christian, like me hearing that, I don't think about like you trying to like you are the Lord's Beauty. Like I just think about someone that's trying to like to show off like literally like the beauty of the Lord. Like that's how I interpreted it. Like when I first started, like it was never a thing of like like what are you talking about?
No, facts.
And even just as a Christian, I think I'd be super excited to like to go to like a brainer that like is sharing the gospel, because you don't see that like you don't see it anywhere. Like I think maybe now it's like a little bit like on the rise, and people are a little bit more comfortable to kind of share like their stances in Christ, but not everyone's excited to like even receive it. Exactly. Because not everyone knows Christ. So it's like now it's like, what is she blabbering on about? Yeah. What is this music blabbering on about? Like I don't know what you're going. I don't know what's going on, but like I'm ready to tap out, do my hair, and I'm trying to get out. Like what I'm saying. So
like I would have clients come in, and then before they come in, I put Christian music on just to like I don't know, I guess just
set the mood, set the atmosphere.
Just set the mood, right? And then like when I come in, I'm like, hi, how are you? I'm Sara. How are you? Like, what's your name? And then they're like, can I just say something? Like, no one has ever played Christian music at my hair point. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, like I'm not even thinking anything of the Christian music. It's just like a regular thing.
It's a regular thing, yeah.
But they're just like, yeah, like this is not like, it feels good. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, like the presence of God is here. And so I guess, yeah, for sure, even like people will not receive it good, right? Like I had people like, oh yeah, let me just change this, or let me just, which is okay. Like it's not okay, but it's okay, I guess.
I mean,
free will.
Coming into like someone's student asking like saying, let me just change the music. Excuse me, you came to my place and okay. I guess that kind of like goes into like our next question,
Yeah.
which is asking if there's any pushback. So this could be from friends, family, or clients.
Not really. But I've had like interactions with
Like regarding like the Christianity, like, you know, changing over the brand, like was there any like discouragement with that?
No, not really. Not really.
Besides with that one to change the music and like, you know, turn it off, besides them.
That one just besides them, but because I did make an announcement once I changed my name, and I was like, oh yeah, like I'm going from here by Rara to the Lordz Beauty, and you know I chose to glorify God. It kind of gave like a mini testimony of my life, and I had a lot of support. Everybody was just like, wow, I'm so happy, like this is great. But then I had people who never showed up after the change.
Come back,
yeah, exactly. Which is okay, like we'll provide at the end of the day. Like, but no, not really. I've never really had any pushbacks from. No.
So we thank God, like there was no pushback, like no form of discouragement. That's honestly great. And I think once the chain of insecurity is broken when it comes to like even just being an entrepreneur, there's a new form of flexibility that's kind of welcomed in, right? So even just looking at like your younger sister now, we have like Nails by Flavor.
Yeah, Nails by Fava.
Okay. She's a nail tech now, right? And she's like, who knows, like all those years ago, if you didn't start, or if you would have said like, you know, I'm in my living room, like I'm not gonna do this, or there's plenty of goosey on the table when the clients cannot keep coming back here. Like who knows if you didn't excel in your small beginning, like, you know, maybe your parents would have allowed her to start. Maybe she wouldn't even have like, you know, the courage, like, you know, to actually start on her own. So we thank God for that. Like, you know, don't be discouraged by a situation.
Do not be discouraged. Like you're gonna encounter so many people, but you just have to know, like, don't let people just change your mindset. Like,
I think even just like you said earlier, like I think if there is like a lot of pushback and discouragement, like, you know, like something great is coming from here, and it's trying so like whatever it is, whether it's people, they're trying to oppress it, like, you know, they're trying to like close it down, whatever. So keep fighting. I think, and I was even saying with like our youth people a few weeks ago, because like we had like our Christmas social, and there was so much going on that day. Like literally, there was enough to say like we're like the event's not happening, but I was saying like, even for me, I have to take a step back and just think like, okay, why is the devil trying so hard to make this thing not happen? Because if what we were doing here was so insignificant, if it was not a big deal, look, I'm thinking, oh, it's like we're just coming to play games, have fun. Like, if it was that insignificant, like, the devil would not be trying so hard. So if there's a lot of pushback, if there's a lot of resistance, just keep praying, keep striving. You know, God is gonna, let God take over. Just keep it in His hands. Just trust Him, literally.
He got you.
Period. Okay, now our next question. As we're wrapping up, is there any advice that you'd want to give to anyone who's interested in starting a business, or someone who is contemplating, like, you know, giving up their business?
Okay, I would say just, again, trust the Lord. Do it. Just do it. Even if you feel like, oh, you're not that good, we all start from somewhere. Do it. Do it. Start those, become a nail tech, become a braider, become whatever, like a video editor, lash tech, anything.
Photographer, pick a guitar.
You might feel like people are laughing at you, but let them laugh. Let them laugh, because they're not gonna laugh when you have 1 million followers. Clock it. They're not gonna laugh when you have 1 million followers. So keep going. Trust in the Lord. Like, I'm telling you, if you put your business to the Lord, like if you put it in His hands, He will take care of it. He will take care of it. He will show you visions on how far He wants to take you with this thing, and just trust in Him. Like, you got this. Don't be discouraged by the people around you, because like even your parents, even your aunties, even your uncles, just continue. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. As long as you have the Lord, like, He's gonna take you far. So don't be discouraged.
Period. Don't be discouraged. Trust in the Lord. Prayer obviously is the key. Prayer, ask God for guidance. Just whenever you feel discouraged, rather than like, you know, beating yourself up, just pray about it. Let God take full control. And if you're a business owner and you're watching this, like, feel free to like comment the name of your business, like whatever you do. And I think it'd be great if we can all just support each other, even if you're just following, liking the content. If maybe I'm a guy and you do lashes, I would say I'm not getting my lashes done. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, follow the page and we like the content, share,
we'll follow each other.
Let's lock in, let's engage. Yes.
You know?
And now going on to our last question, do you have any song inspiration for this episode?
I have a lot, but let me just share one.
Okay. we just need one for the people.
So it's called Trust You by 7 Hills Worship.
Okay, so
because you need to trust the Lord. I feel like we said trust a lot in this episode.
And we did. Because you need to tap in and trust. Like, even if the situation is not looking like it's going to be like the way you want it to, just trust God. Like, the process is not the outcome.
Exactly.
All right, and thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you being here. We hope that, like, the viewers had a great time and learned something new. Trust in God, pray, push through.
Yes.
And yeah, as we're signing out, until next time, wishing you peace, love, and simply grace.
Bye.